Coldheart is an exotic weapon from the Overwatches Foundry. It's a new technology they've developed for the Guardians defending the city. They figured out a way to not only create a liquid fuel ammo, basically, but also use that liquid ammo to double as coolant inside the weapon.
When we started designing the aesthetics for the weapon, we started looking at what are the core principles of the Overwatches Foundry itself, and how can we deviate in a bunch of strategic ways from those principles to make something that, while it bears a resemblance to it, it looks distinct and it lives up to the expectation of being an exotic.
We're calling it a trace rifle. And it fires a straight precision beam that players have to hold on a target for an extended amount of time. It's like... I mean, you're still going to fight the recoil of the weapon. Like, it lights up when you shoot and it's going to activate it in your hands, and you have to keep it stable on a target, and you can still get precision damage and everything, but that's the basic intrinsic flavor of the gun. The longer that you hold the laser on a target, the more damage you're going to do over time.
We start by building around something that clearly performs a very specific task. The weapon has to look like it makes sense that it does what it does. If you look at the weapon, it is fairly minimalistic, with the exception of that beating heart in the center. That's what it's all about. And what that means is that when players will get it, they will instantly understand that there's a purpose to this thing in the center.
The design and art team had such an awesome concept and just a really great idea out of the gate that all I had to do was figure out the name, and then we were golden. You know, the 6-word stories you see sometimes online, people talking about baby shoes for sale, never worn. That's the philosophy we think about with flavor text in particular, but the weapon name itself, it's the tubes on the weapon actually look like chambers of the heart. It looks like a heart, so, you know, cold heart.
This is going to be a new defining weapon for the Overwatches Foundry. Building a straight projectile that is a beam that is persistent in the world and networked correctly in a game like Destiny is extremely complicated to do, and something that we invested some time in. So yeah, it was new tech for the game. We made it, and we wanted to really showcase it with an awesome new gun for players to have. Coldheart is going to be the first and only trace rifle in players' hands, but it absolutely has the potential to become a new archetype.
The good thing was that we had a behavior defined beforehand that didn't really have a counterpart in Destiny. So at that point, it is really about facilitating that particular behavior, both from a design perspective, right, in sort of the PvE and PvP sandbox, but also in an aesthetic sense. How do we create a visual that we associate with this particular behavior that doesn't already have a counterpart in the world? People are going to love Coldheart because it takes skill to master it. To actually become super effective with it requires you to sort of, to master control of the weapon and to sort of get a really good feeling of how it behaves in our sandbox. We've
tried more interesting things like we have with Coldheart across the scope of the weapons in Destiny. We're definitely trying to push the ideas of player experience and what that can mean for an exotic weapon, and I think Coldheart is a really good example of creating a new thing, which is a trace rifle. It's an exotic. There's going to be more experiences like that in Destiny 2.
Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. And for more Destiny 2 content, make sure to keep it here on Snabobo.